They can't even hear you, and you're upsetting all the kids in the car.
If you're going to do anything, you might as well just go ram them with your car.
Yeah, go ram them with
That's
your car.
my mentality. If somebody's going to mess with you, make sure they feel you.
Correct. Otherwise, this, are like, you see
with
people
your words,
going like this, and
no,
you know
I'm just
what?
kidding. You shouldn't do that.
Eric probably saw what I did on the way home. Last Friday, I guess, I almost killed somebody, but I did, but not on purpose. It was like my phone kept ringing and people were calling, and it was all the stuff, as you know, that was going on in my life, and the phone kept ringing. All of a sudden, I was going to go into the left lane, and Eric was right behind me, and I'm sure he's like, you dumbass. I could just hear him going, you dumbass. But my car actually will pull you back in the lane if you don't wear a blinker. And so my car, Tiffany, if it wasn't for Tiffany, I would have just sideswiped.
Who's Tiffany?
My car.
Don't name a car Tiffany or Brittany.
Yeah, but you know why? That's because.
I know why.
You know why. And that's why they named it, because my car is a B. She does what she wants to.
I had a rental in Florida once that did that lane correction. And it scared the hell out of me.
It does scare me, but now I'm used to it. And it literally saved me from cremating the car next to me last Friday.
Gotcha.
I would have cremated him. And because I didn't put my blinker on, Tiffany just pulled the car back in the lane. And the back, I look at Eric and he's going, dumbass. I guess he was following me.
Oh, Eric Johnson.
Yeah, Eric Johnson was
like,
following me out of the studio last Friday. And I literally almost cremated somebody. And Eric saw the whole thing.
In our parking lot?
No, on Highway 40, going back towards across the bridge to St. Charles County. I mean, and I look like a dumbass, but I make fun of Tiffany, and that's why she got her name, is because she's bossy and bitchy. But she saved me cremating somebody right in the side by pulling my car back in the lane. My daughter says that's like an old people car, because it's for people who are old that can't stay in their lane, so it pulls them over. But I don't know.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. You don't name your cars?
I'm not trying to be mean.
You can be mean.
It sounds very silly to me.
I know. We name every one of our cars.
But everybody has their own thing in life, you know? I'm not going to like come to your house and go, oh, you can't name your cars.
Joe, do you name your cars?
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's just a thing.
I've never even heard of naming.
I've named my parents' cars ever since I was a kid. And then now my kids name our cars, and every one of our vehicles. Like our truck is Clifford, the big red truck.
I mean, I treat them like they have personalities, but I don't sit there and say that they're sassy or anything like that.
Sassy little thing.
Right.
Sassy little car, you. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we got too much time on our hands that we name our cars. I don't know.
Interesting.
Well, you spend so much time in them, and you feel like, okay, instead of saying, okay, we're going to go in the Cadillac or we're going to go in the Ford truck, we say we're going to go in Tiffany or Clifford or, Louis, the Jeep's Louis.
Who does the naming?
My kids. My kids have named them all.
Okay.
My daughter has a Honda, and she named her Rhonda. So I mean, everybody has a car name. So.
Hold on a second. I'm still catching up here. All right. Son had a little scope on his knee, so that went well. Real quick. Teeny little itty bitty meniscus tear. So he'll be back in a month.
That's very good news.
Yeah, it is. Very, very good news.
A Thanksgiving blessing.
It gives him the perfect. Oh, yeah. It gives him the perfect rest.
I love it.
Okay. All right. What day is it?
Skanksgiving or Thanksgiving Eve, whichever way you want to look at it. The date is irrelevant. Because nobody's going to care what the date is.
I think Lizzie ate gummies on a Wednesday.
I did it. I have had nothing to eat or drink this morning.
All right.
As usual.
Okay. This is fun today. Oh. I'd rather watch you just do shots and get blitzed.
Yeah.
And then I'll ask you questions.
Yeah, I've been known to do that a time or two.
Okay, Joe, I guess let's rock the show. All right. Joe's in the house. Lizzie's in the house. I'm Vic Faust. Lizzie's all caught up in the Skanksgiving deal the day before Thanksgiving. People go out in the St. Louis area. Although I was told last night, had no idea, all you folks in KC, in the Kansas City area, I heard that Kansas City people don't really go out. This is for the going out people.
Got it.
Those people who go out, that Skanksgiving doesn't really exist where everybody goes out. It's the night of Kansas City because they light up the beautiful plaza.
Oh, yeah, I bet that's...
People can actually go downtown in Kansas City.
In most parts.
One of the coolest thing ever, and that's why I tell people, because I lived in Detroit for, 11 years, that they do an incredible Christmas tree lighting where it is packed downtown. It is beautiful around the ice rink. There's just nothing like that in St. Louis.
No.
Nobody's hurt. Nobody's robbed. When they go to Detroit, it's beautiful. If I find pictures today, I'll show it to you. I have hopes for St. Louis, but it's not going to happen with the current mayor. That's for sure. It's not going to happen with the alderman, but that's who lives in those towns, those areas, those wards. They elect those people. Joe, for our listeners today, put up a little Thanksgiving background in the backdrop. We appreciate that. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Joe, Pro Joe. This is canceltheshow.com, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central and all the time on our website, canceltheshow.com. News headlines, interviews, cancel culture education. We've got it all. Aaron says, well, in Kansas City, they go out with their cousins.
I guess.
He, ho, ho, ho.
Ha, ha, ha.
No, actually, I heard that's in Lincoln County, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to get I had to bring up Joe as he gave me a good look. Derek Pratt says Eureka, Missouri does a Christmas tree lighting every year. We are considered the quintessential Hallmark city. Yeah. Sean Flower's still the mayor out there. I like Sean. I haven't talked to him for a while.
Eureka's really pretty.
It is.
It really is.
Rochester is nice. I'm assuming you're talking about Rochester, Michigan. It is one of the most beautiful places on the planet, especially during the winter months, during the holiday season time, because they light up the entire area. If anybody knows of any other places throughout the country that are beautiful during the Christmas time, let us know, especially as we hit Thanksgiving, which kind of kicks off the holiday season. Cindy puts a shout out for St. Charles Main Street. Yeah, I agree.
That, for sure.
St. Charles is more old school. Rochester is more new school. If that's your town, and it is your town, Robert, send me some pictures so we can pop it up so I can show people what downtown looks like. It's freaking incredible what they have there. Anyway, Aaron, Franklin County. Where exactly is Franklin County?
Franklin County has like Sullivan.
It goes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was thinking because I knew it was south, and it was like southwest.
Yeah,
it's more southwest down.
Southwest.
You kind of go down that area.
Southwest, yes.
Anyway, we appreciate. We're talking Missouri towns, but it could be towns all across the country: California, New York, Michigan, Florida. Let us know. I just want to know who does the whole scene pretty damn well. Stephanie says Main Street sucks on Thanksgiving, though.
Yeah, there's a certain area on Thanksgiving. She's right. You probably want to avoid unless you want to see a bunch of Thanksgiving goers.
Jamie, good morning to you. Troy sends a shout out. By the way, we love interaction on the podcast, 8 to 10 a.m. Central and all the time on our website every day. Ben Kahn and Wenty's throwing their hat in to be the kings of Skanksgiving tonight.
Yes.
Wenty's in the Chesterfield Valley. Very grateful for Wenty's also sponsoring the Football 360 show. They are kicking butt. It's live on Tuesdays at 12. Last night they ran at 8 o'clock and did very, very good. You can check out those shows on Twitter and YouTube. It's called the Football 360 show. It was a really cool show last night because Mizzou football's rocking and rolling. Well, they just flipped a recruit, a 4-star kid he was from St. Louis. He was at Lutheran St. Charles. Then he transferred to Nevada, Missouri. And he just flipped. He said, Deion Sanders in Colorado, thanks, but no thanks. I'm heading to Mizzou. He did a live interview last night, so you can watch those shows. I mean, they had thousands of views within just a couple hours. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, so Wendy's is a part of that. Ben, we appreciate it. I'll catch up with Ben tonight there. Oh, Patty giving a shout out, Naples, Florida. I have not done Naples or been to Naples in the middle of the Christmas time. Only been down 2 or 3 times for summer stuff. But yeah, I heard the market is terrible right now, the real estate market. Kathy Helbig-Strick, Steve Stricklebeans, they'll be joining us from their beautiful home this morning. They're putting a lot of things together as they host their Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow. We've got Ham and Patrick coming into studio at 9:30. Aaron says Vic's just happy he isn't in local news anymore, doing a story on blowing up a fried turkey today. Something like that. I did those things for a while. Then, I didn't really have to go out and do fried turkey stories ever. The worst thing you ever had to do was fill in to anchor the morning shows on the weekends, but that wasn't bad. Okay. Lady of Our Shrine in Belleville, Illinois has a drive-through light show.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And Eureka, as we're told, it's where Six Flags is, and that's where all the meth exchange goes on. Apparently in Derek's backyard in Eureka.
There you go.
So that is the quintessential Hallmark meth episode, I guess, that he is talking about. And
they have a really good Christmas scene there, though. You see Six Flags, and right next to it, it's Santa's Kingdom, and that's a drive-through.
Yeah,
that's really pretty.
And the Lions play at 11:00 tomorrow. That is my team. So you guys can root for the Lions tomorrow. They are good now. They're 8-2, second best team in all the NFL, at least according to records. Patty also says Naples downtown has a beautiful display with snow at night. Live nativity scene as well with animals. That's really freaking cool.
That is really
I
cool.
love to hear about the stuff all over the country. Really cool atmospheres for people to enjoy when it comes to our holiday season. Okay, we're getting through all of the parts of the show. Tomorrow we don't have a show. Are we gonna have a slate up that just says Happy Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Do we need that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
All right. We'll put a slate up for that. Then on Friday, we'll do a quick 30-minute show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And then we'll get out of here and we'll enjoy our weekend. So
so if you still are going to have cancel this withdrawals, because we thought about not doing it, but then a lot of people told us they would have cancel this withdrawals. So we will be here for a 30-minute show.
Yeah, we'll have some fun on Friday. We'll do some of that stuff today too. Some serious stuff. We'll also go off the beaten path. Silver Dollar City in Missouri has an amazing light display here. I had no idea. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
Pam says our Thanksgiving is Saturday. I guess that means when you guys are celebrating. We appreciate that. You can celebrate when you get your family in town. And there are people who do 3 and 4 Thanksgivings, whether you have a blended family or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a light display out in Rotary Park in Wentzville as well.
Yes, very nice.
Oh, that's very cool.
Wentzville, they all have them too.
Because it is that time of year. It doesn't feel like it's me yet with all the news and everything else that's going on. I'm just and then of course the weather really didn't get somewhat chilly until recently either. It just seems like we had a really long fall. It doesn't feel like winter. I know technically, according to the calendar, it's not winter yet. It is fall, but it just feels a little different. All of that together.
It does.
Mr. Pratt says, I'll take video when I'm down there this weekend of all the meth exchange that's going on, right?
Good,
oh, no. He means when he's at Silver Dollar City. Okay.
Oh.
I thought you were going to be our first street reporter for Cancel This, Derek.
Well, he is going to be the street
reporting on all the meth exchange that's happening in your backyard with the Busch Light drinkers in Eureka. The AP, breaking news. The AP says that Busch Light's #1 territory of sales is Eureka, Missouri. Congratulations, Derek.
I bet Derek is ecstatic about that. I bet
that's according to the AP here.
Mm-hmm. He gets those in the stocking, Busch Lights there. He does.
Yeah, the AP also stating that they did a survey with, we'll keep it right there. All right, I'm Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks here, Pro Joe in the house. We'll do the Route 66 Cannabis Weed Wednesday segment coming up at 9:30 as well. There's some things this morning. I wish it was all good news, but it's not. Do we start with good news, or do we save the good news, or do we start with bad news?
Just go ahead with the bad. Dive right on into bad news.
Okay, because it's, all right, let's get into this then. Can we run the sound with New York Governor Kathy Hochul, the New York governor? We told you that this was going to happen. This woman, the governor of New York, implementing this plan for kids and quote teachers to recognize and call out what they feel is an untruth being put on social media and so forth. This is scary, scary stuff, because what this is, it's trying to eliminate your freedom of speech. It's trying to eliminate an opposing view. And they're starting with kids in the state of New York. Why people still live in that godforsaken place, I don't know. I know New York has a wonderful history, the birthplace of our country, literally. But what it's becoming is so sad.
It really is.
And I know people, lots of people in my life from New York who would not go back there and live.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't. Now, I know I'm sounding a little crazy, but if your governor's saying things like this, would you want to live there?
No. Absolutely not. And it's sad because this time of the year, it's so pretty in Times Square. But it would be
Homeland Security and Emergency Services to develop media literacy tools for K through 12 in our public schools. This will teach students and even teachers to help understand how to spot conspiracy theories and misinformation, disinformation, and online hate. Start talking about what we're seeing out there. Give the teachers the tools they need to help these conversations in school. And by teaching younger New Yorkers about how to discern between digital fact and digital fiction, we can better inoculate them from hatred and the spread of it, and help prepare them for a very fast-moving and often confusing world. Today I'm directing the...
Yeah. What the hell did we just hear?
I'm not really sure.
Now they're going to try to indoctrinate the kids in New York. They're going to try to tell them whatever. And I don't know if this, and by the way, this idea came about before anything happened with Israel and Palestine. So it's not about that, although that could be grafted in. However, I don't know where right, where wrong. Who decides what's right? Who decides what's wrong? This so looks like a political situation to me, because where else have we heard these things? Oh, well, Republicans say bad things. Donald Trump says things that aren't true. Fact checkers get more credit for being, quote, the authority when they're 20-year-olds, as was proven in little rooms at colleges. And I'm not going off the deep end by saying that. It blows my freaking mind that they're trying to do these things in New York. Okay. Is this a media stunt? Maybe. Will you be able to implement something like that? I don't really know. I don't know what it would look like. Do principals take complaints from students? Are students going to be saying things against each other? Will they be trying to go after each other's social media platforms? Will they be seeing what's posted? This is a big cluster, you know what?
It is, and you know it's going to happen. It's
big
subtly happening now. But if they implement this, it's going to go crazy, and there's going to be poor innocent children just crucified in their schools.
Well, this is a hardcore liberal, left, progressive Democrat who's doing some things that we haven't seen done by a governor, even in the state of New York. Mm-hmm. So if that's what you want, then obviously you're happy. Kevin reminds us that she also signed the Clean Slate Act. What do you think about this? The Clean Slate Act, which seals certain criminal records and allows individuals to seek employment, housing, and educational opportunities without anybody knowing their history.
That's a double-edged sword right there. Because in one way, if you did something very minor or was accused of something you didn't do, that sounds great. But what about the pedophile that comes to work in your preschool or comes to work in your elementary school and you don't know about that?
Robert says it's the mob now, the cancel culture mob that tries 100%. To decide truth and what's not truth.
That's so true.
I'm sorry, the hardcore leaning left mob when it comes to these politicians trying to force things down your throat. I think this is one of the worst ideas I've ever heard when it comes to you decide, well, if that you don't like that, because in life, so many times we hear something. You talk about facts and you talk about truth, but if somebody hears truth that they don't like, they become offended. They get their feelings hurt. And then if they hear truth and they're called out, then they want to respond and come after somebody. They don't want to hear an opposing view. It's called a sign of maturity. It's called mental illness. If you can't listen to somebody else and spoiledness, give a point of view that you may or may not agree with. This is a problem going after kids. I know it's New York, and liberals will be liberals, and they're not going to change their tune because there's a pride issue. There's a pride factor. People don't want to be shown that they're wrong. Show me that Republican conservative ideals are wrong, and I'll change in a heartbeat. I keep an open mind. I've proven it my entire life. Show me that this would be good for kids, and who gets to decide?
It's not good.
Did you call liberals mental illness again, spoiled brats, or is that just what I was saying?
That's just what you were saying. But I agree. A lot of this going on. There's so much mental illness going on, but children, most of these kids don't have mental illness. Do you realize that?
I don't even think the adults do. I think it's a pushing.
It is pushing.
We want our ideas.
Yes.
Pushed upon. This is how we want our kids to go about things.
Correct. And mental illness organizations are coming in, or I would say mental health organizations are coming in and pushing on our kids. My daughter even had that, and she and I had a talk about how the cycle of anxiety. There, adults probably have true anxiety with bills and paying taxes, but if you what anxiety do kids have today unless the school puts it there?
Yeah, Robert says liberalism is a mental illness. We've heard that before. I won't go that far. However, I will say it's a very serious, selfish problem when you're trying to push this stuff on kids. It's total crap. Kids don't need any more. Our kids right now they're dealing with more than any other generation has ever dealt with, by far. And adults are doing it. Adults are pushing it, and it's a problem. Aaron calls it gaslighting.
It is gaslighting. That's going on with our children all the time now. It's awful.
Astawa says, never allow yourself to not tell the truth. This is slavery. I don't know how to do that. Modern liberalism is demonic construct. And Derek says, what happened to the mental hospitals? We used to deem people crazy or mentally ill, and we quarantine their craziness. Yeah, that's a whole nother subject that we could talk about.
But that is
mental illness is a real deal. And there are different forms of mental illness that could take the form of somebody having somewhat of a schizophrenia type of deal, or even when it comes down to flat out situations of anxiety. And anxiety has different forms as well. It doesn't mean that you're agitated. Anxiety can mean just thoughts and feelings popping up that you have no idea.
True.
I dealt with this with people in my family, so I totally get it. It's a long post, but if people want to go to our Facebook page, Destiny has a long post regarding a doctor that can help as well. So the Hochul thing just blew my freaking mind with the New York governor. Our media asking her tough questions. What would you want to know? Because I'm like, none of that makes any sense to me. Do we already have some sort of this situation, even though it's not talked about in public schools, where kids can report other kids or say something that they don't feel they like? I mean, do we have some of those situations going on already? A lot of times kids are afraid to say things, though, unless they're said behind closed doors.
Correct.
They won't say anything to other parents. They won't say anything to other kids, usually. And of course, we already know the peer pressure, whether it's peer pressure for good, peer pressure for bad, peer pressure for the right, peer pressure for the left. There is peer pressure. There is no doubt about it. The schools talk a lot about kids having stress and anxiety. Do they really have it, or is it manipulation on behalf of the school systems? Fair enough. It's a point that I've heard before as well, Mr. Pratt. And then we're also told New York is also on high alert for a terrorist attack tomorrow. We've talked about that being Thanksgiving holiday. We already know that we've been told by our own FBI that lone wolf attacks could happen, that there are nationals from other countries, communist countries, Muslim countries in the United States that would love nothing more than to destroy the American way of life and provide a lot of sorrow during a happy time.
Correct.
As a society, according to Robert, we are what we are taught about history. And of course, the winners write history. The victors write history. The conquerors decide what history is. And that's why I love history. And it's something that we need to take very seriously, especially with our kids.
And history is wonderful. It is. I agree with Robert on that. And they're erasing our history in schools right now. They're literally erasing it and rewriting it in the Marxist regime with all the racism and the critical race theory and all of that. They're infusing that. Years ago, I remember when they changed in my school history to social studies. And as a junior high student, I didn't understand how catastrophic that was until my dad said, what kind of BS is that? They're going to start erasing history. And that was back in the 70s. So they've been doing this for a long time.
Well, you look at the state with the number one city in regards to population, number one media market, New York, and that's where we're talking about these things going. That's why I get concerned, because the slippery slope effect starts to take a place.
Yes, it does.
Like, oh, yeah, we don't see what they're doing. Okay, whatever. Oh, it's Thanksgiving. We're going to go do this. And then before you know it, you have certain things implemented in the schools that you don't know. And then you have a generation that's completely lost. And you're like, whoa, what happened? Why did this happen to us? When did this happen? How did we allow this to happen? And then that affects a variety of things in life. Whether it's politics, whether it's our way of life, whether it's our Christianity, faith, ideal on morals. And before you know, your morality has been washed away. Where it once was here, now it's here because you have been indoctrinated by so many different things. Your tolerance to accept things has gone to a different point.
Very true.
And you're just a fraction of what you used to be. So we'll continue to follow that, see if any other states would do it. It's interesting. It's in a blue state where they're doing this.
Of course it is.
I mean,
of course it's a blue state.
No way in hell would any of this ever even be talked about, thought about in a red state, which is why we have a great divide between the red and the blue when it comes to that. There is some good news today. I'm assuming it's good news. I don't know what else is going on, but there's been a ceasefire and agreement between Israel and Palestine, Hamas. Hostages are going to be released as part of the ceasefire. They're going to be released over a 4-day period. That's according to the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. To date, there have been, I guess, more than 1,200 Israelis reported killed by Hamas, while the Hamas-run Palestinian Ministry of Health is claiming that there's been 13,000 civilians killed by Israeli military activity in Gaza. He says 13,000 civilians. This is where news reports, propaganda, you have to look at all sorts of things that are going on. But relatives of Israeli hostages are saying that they haven't heard anything about who will be freed. Is it going to be every hostage that's freed? The first freed hostages will include 3 Americans. That's kind of a big deal, you think? So the ceasefire, the hostages will start to be released at about 3:00 today Eastern time. So then we'll start to get more and more information. Actually, that's supposed to start to take place on Thursday, tomorrow, on Thanksgiving. But it's going to start with the release of 50 total hostages. But the problem is they had over 200 hostages that they need to get back, that have been there since October 7th. And of course, we'll see if anything's actually happening. I mean, is it going to take place? Is it going to be all the hostages? What does a ceasefire mean? You have to think that if Israel agreed to it, they're getting done what they want to get done, or they've done what they needed to do.
I guess so, because it does seem very odd that they can just do a ceasefire and they can just pause it.
But they're going to have to release hostages as well.
Correct.
And,
Correct.
War criminals as opposed to Israeli civilians. Jay reminds us 50 for 150. What happened to, we're not going to negotiate with terrorists.
Right.
These sorts of situations. This is the problem. And this is where the bleeding heart left liberals will continue to, or if you're from Palestine, you'll be like, oh, we can just deal with it. Go back to the negotiating table. We can't kill women and children and innocent people. Even though Hamas comes in and does what they do, then they take the innocent civilians and they hide behind them like the cowards that they are. And then they've actually got Americans and people who I know who I think have good hearts. And then they're complaining on social media every day, you bad Israel supporters. You bad people. You're so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And these people are a bunch of cowards for saying that. You're
Sure.
a damn coward if you're the one that's out there saying, oh, you can't support Israel when it comes to, they're sitting there. There was a ceasefire in effect until Hamas, which is backed by Iran, came in and did what they did and took hostages. Once again, the world is not fun. One life dead is unfortunate, but this shit happens when you start it. When you swirl it all up, you eliminate it. Look at World War II. We had to drop a bomb, and it took a bomb to stop it. And guess what? The bomb brought peace. But nobody wants to remind everybody of that.
Nope.
This is what happens. Your actions have consequences. And that's what people tend to forget. They think that, oh, well, we can go do what we want to do because we don't like the way that has gone from a political standpoint. No, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong. And we've had people come on the show. And we invite anybody that wants to come onto the show to come onto the show and tell us why we're wrong for thinking that. We keep an open mind, but nobody wants to come on.
No, they
We've
don't.
had some people on because they know that they're wrong. They know that they have no leg to stand on. It's unfortunate. And many people just don't want to talk about it because they just, I just want to be quiet. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I'm just going to live my little happy life and everything's going to be fine. And that's what happens.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people.
Jay says when the country is at war, that's what happens. Is there a precedent for a Western nation becoming anti-Semitic, ending badly? And Michelle says, good morning to all. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. And Jay says, how about the 66 attacks on our bases with no retaliation? Correct. That is true. Attacks from drones, which Joe Biden has done nothing with.
Nothing.
But because he can't, because he's compromised. And we already know all of the things that are going on with Joe Biden being compromised and how sad that is for our country right now. And of course, how weak we look and how weak we are with everything that's happening there. Once again, on a more positive note today, if you have awesome holiday light festivals, holiday places to go around the country, let us know. Some people were putting those in earlier in the show, so that was fun to see. It's always good to do that. Kathy Elbig-Strick, Steve Strick getting ready to come up here. Also, Ham and Patrick, we've got them for, I think it's going to be the store manager at 9:30 in studio for our Weed Wednesday segment, talking Route 66 cannabis for the Thanksgiving weekend, the holiday that's coming up. Also, we won't be doing a show tomorrow. We are off, and on Friday we'll come in and do about a 30-minute show that we'll play for you, and then we can loop that for people depending upon the times that everybody gets a chance to come in and do what they can. I wanted to show this picture real quick, too. We have another swimming transgender person who had an incredible, and I mean an incredible record. So this is a picture. This is a trans swimmer. She broke the New Jersey college record after switching from the men's team to the women's team.
So you just called this person a she, but
this is a he that is dressing and acting as a she, just like Leah Thomas.
Got it.
By the way, recently Leah Thomas was booed off stage at an award ceremony.
Good.
And here's the thing. I don't wish bad upon people, but if you're going to... Leah was using the rules that were there.
Correct.
Yeah, so she wasn't breaking rules. Mm-hmm. We need to change the rules.
Absolutely change.
People can cheer her. They can boo her all they want. I wouldn't boo her. I hate what she did.
Oh, I would boo her. She's there taking a competition away from my baby girls.
That's a great point.
I would stand up and boo. I'd be the loudest one booing. I don't care what they do. Really, I don't. I don't care what anybody does. But you come as a guy who's physically stronger than my female girl.
Yeah, it's 100% wrong.
Busted her butt to try to get where she was, and she got second when she would have been first. Oh, I would have been standing up there booing. I would have had a bullhorn.
Yeah. So she got booed off, or he got booed off stage, and it's just so. Anyway, now we've got this person as well that's going through this situation. I just this this is a boy, and I'm sending you another picture as well here in just a second. Joe, hold on a second. Hold on, I'm getting the picture. I'm sorry, I can't read while I was getting the picture up there because another one was sent to me at that time. But I think this is going to continue to happen. And this is why the actions of Riley Gaines, who does what she does, is so important, because you're not going to see a stoppage of this until you eliminate transgenders from being able to compete with men. It's not fair. It's been proven it's not fair. Even younger men, as we talked about, with the, a high school soccer team beating a boys team beating the U.S. Olympic women's team. We're like, oh my, and blew them out. And it's happening all over the country. Guys are just physically made different.
They are.
They're just different, and it happens. And it's not fair. It's not right. So Leah has now allowed and this whole new situation to start occurring, because there are people who still support her and what she is trying to do. I hate it with a passion what's happening, but it is. This person is now Megan Cortez Fields. And he, who's now a transgender she, joined the women's team after the swimming season. It was after the school's year end. So now he is swimming as a she, and you need to see the comparisons of now Megan. Look at Megan.
Look at Megan.
For our listeners on the podcast, we encourage you to watch the video as well, if you can. Megan in the lower right-hand corner is just towering over the female counterparts on the team.
Well, and look at those three girls that are standing next to me. They've got a smile on their face and all that. I wonder what they feel inside about that. Are they okay with it because they've been so brainwashed that that's the way women are to be treated now, that the people back in the 60s that fought for our rights and all that, now, ladies, you're getting them stripped from you. You don't get to win awards. You don't get to win beauty contests. You don't get to be the homecoming queen, but you just stand there and you smile. I would love to know what they're thinking.
So Megan has set all the records now, too.
Megan did not set any records.
All the female records have just been blown away in New Jersey by Megan. Who
her parents must be so proud.
Well, that's a whole nother issue too. And I promise you the parents are proud.
That is.
Well, we saw that with WashU in St. Louis.
Yeah,
I mean, the one-sided story that was done by Fox in St. Louis, unfortunately, didn't talk to the other side. They only talked to one mom with kids who took her son in to be a girl and said, well, they don't care about our feelings. They don't care about my son, who's going to be a female's life ahead. And, it's not fair. And as Robert says, where are all the feminists?
Right.
And
Where are they?
And it's unfortunate because this whole situation has ruined the entire group or money that gets donated for feminism.
Well, and
there's no place for it now, unfortunately, because you don't see feminism showing its positive values and trying to stick up for females.
Correct. It's so bizarre that the women that just scream and wear the vaginas on their head and women's rights and all this, women are getting stripped of their awards and their medals and their accolades, and they're saying nothing. And where are the dads of these she's going to that? Why are the men not saying to their child, chivalry is not dead? So by you taking that female spot, you're not being chivalrous. Step out, dude. You're not as good of a swimmer as the men, but then work harder and get your third place with the men. But then you come over and take the females first. Where are the dads? Where are the dads?
Where are the Muslims? Robert says, what are the Muslims?
Good point. Good
What do the
point.
Muslims think about this?
Correct. Yeah, but you don't see you don't see many Muslims that are
Kevin says they have destroyed the Miss Universe pageant, but at least we had a sign of hope. Silent Ray, as we showed yesterday,
that was beautiful yesterday.
Shayna's Palacios, our reigning Miss Universe now, crowned last week from Nicaragua, the first one they ever had. She chose to wear a Blessed Mother Mary, the Mother of Jesus inspired dress, very elegant,
very
and she's covered all up, and she wins Miss Universe, honoring the Blessed Mother. So, at Miss Universe. So there is hope there.
There is. That was good.
Well, what was I going to say here? There was something else. Anyway, these are the things that are happening. It's up to parents. Parents need to refuse to compete against all of this. And there is now a Christian school that's being, I believe they're maybe kicked out of the league. They forfeited a game a basketball game, I believe it was, because another team had a transgender player that was a dominant player.
Mhm.
So they forfeited and said, we're not going to do it. Now
Good for them.
Well, now the league is trying to come after them and maybe
Of course
kick them out.
they're intolerant Christians. The Christians are always the intolerant ones. And that's sad. They're just following their faith of Scripture. And there's so many other people that they can follow their whatever, and it's okay.
Yeah, we'll continue to follow these stories as well. This is Cancel This. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house. Every Wednesday, we catch up with our friends, Kathy Helbig Strict from Experienced Realty Partners and Steve Strict. Oh my God.
Look at
that. We just came up from downstairs.
Look at them both. They're so dang cute.
I can't fit in this screen with those muscles.
Yeah, the muscles are taking the whole screen up.
Oh my. I love it.
I do too.
Kathy, where's your tank top?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
I covered up just so you know.
By the way, she's all female.
I wouldn't steal the screen, so I covered mine up.
She's all female.
I love it. I love it. So, Kathy, what we were just talking about, could you swim against your husband and win the race with those muscles?
No.
Yes, I could, because Steve can't swim very well.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Okay, sorry, Steve.
That was a perfect setup for me.
But
Good.
He looks like Rocky.
Another man, probably not.
That's good. Love it.
Oh my God.
He's too dense to swim. He sinks.
That makes sense.
That is a tank top. Is that your own Steve Strick? Did you have that tank top custom made?
No.
I don't know. Where do you get a tank top that fits your upper body and it's not baggy, but it's not cutting off your circulation?
It's hard to find, Vic, but if you try long enough, you'll find it. Yeah.
One of our people in our chat line said Steve needs a permit for those guns.
Yes,
everybody's allowed to do whatever they want across the country. I should be able to wear a tank top, right?
Absolutely. Of course you should.
Steve, you've got legs for arms, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Vic, I'll send you that. Somebody asked to see our weight room. I'll send you a video, maybe.
Yeah, if you guys,
I want to see it.
Well, did you? You know what? I'll look it up too. Did you guys put that on unrestricted?
Yeah, there's a fast one of it on
yeah,
Instagram
I saw it
yesterday.
I love it.
Yeah, I think I saw that come through. I was pretty damn busy. Okay,
it was impressive.
Kathy, at any time you can rip off your shirt and go with in a respectful way.
Donna says tatas.
Yes. Here. And here you go. Woo! There.
Oh my God, the couple
We're getting racy today.
Ratings. We're unrestricted today.
That's right.
Hey, tell us about the new unrestricted site as well, because we kind of talked about it. We promoted it. I know you guys are posting videos from it right now as well, and how people can find it.
Yes, definitely. Everybody go on and follow us on Instagram. It is Life Unrestricted, and it's spelled like our last name, Stricted, not the normal way you would spell restricted. So put that K in there. Life Unrestricted on Instagram, Facebook, it's life.unrestricted, same spelling. And basically it's the lead-in for our own little lifestyle, personal podcasts that we'll be dropping soon. We're starting to film a little bit of content right now. And then in the meantime, we'll have some posts and things that are interesting to us, and just getting to know us as a couple and as career people working together, entrepreneurs that work together, the challenges, the bonuses. It says, I think I put on there all the messy stuff in between of life and love together and career just together. So it should be interesting. I'm learning to be less restrictive. So he's more the I'm the re of unrestricted.
But what does that mean exactly? You're more the restrictive.
Yeah. Well, it means a lot of things actually. So just on the surface, I have always lived my life to be very, I don't let myself be super free. I don't show a lot of emotion. I've always felt like I've had to, live a life in a fishbowl. So I'm very careful as to what I I share or put out, or, a lot of people don't really get to know me very well because I feel like I have to be careful and calculated with not talking about certain things, not expressing certain feelings, all of that kind of stuff, especially in the cancel culture right now. So there's that. And then I'm also more the conservative one, not as
We're not
big
talking
of a
about
risk
politics
takers.
here.
Right. No.
Yeah.
We're talking about he's the put the pedal and don't worry about it. Everything's going to work out fine. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Let's think about what's going to happen tomorrow, the next day, and that. So that's kind of the two personalities that we have that collide sometimes, and that causes all kinds of fun stuff.
So she said she. Go ahead, Lizzie.
No, I agree. That is so true. You have to have balance, and you have one that is more restricted, and that's probably good too because it hones down the one that's the free spirit. But if you have both, you can do anything.
Yeah,
do anything.
Yeah, it's a good balance, yin and yang. And then I'm going to try to get myself to take a risk and be honest and open. Not that I haven't been honest, but I have not necessarily been as vocal about how I feel about some things. So there'll be some topics that we talk about that I'm just going to talk about how I really feel about them and see where it goes. So, yeah.
Yeah, she says she lives in this fishbowl. I live in the ocean. I go everywhere. I do everything. And she doesn't. So, no, it is a perfect match, to Robert's point, because I do think forward. But I also am the type of guy saying, you know what? If shit goes sideways, we'll figure it out. I'm not the guy that's like, well, I'm going to worry because I want to get the plane off the ground and fix it while it's in the air.
Yeah, you're a perfect match.
Fix it while it's here because we'll never get it off the ground. So,
but he's also never crashed and burned. So
because I figure it out.
Once you've already had something that's gone wrong and you've had to pick yourself up from the bottom, you're a little careful the next time around to maybe not make some choices.
And I'm not planning on that.
Yeah. No. I said, well, that's why you guys got your business and business owners get it.
Yeah.
We talk about. We have to show the weight room though, because
I guess
couples that train together stay together. Couples that sweat together stay together.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's fast. It's a time lapse, but
that's all right. We continue to show it.
That's our home gym.
That is really awesome.
We'll show it again and again.
Fitnesses.
What's on the wall when you first walk into the left again?
Strict fitness. Here, I'll
right when you walk. Well, that's the back. Yeah. So right when you walk. Yeah. So. Strict fitness. It says lift or leave.
Lift or leave. Get the hell out.
Oh, I like that. That's really cool.
Really good.
2 options.
That's perfect.
Let me see the. Okay.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
That's really cool.
You've got Arnold. Yeah. Greatest of all time in there. It's fun. It's a fun room.
Yeah.
The Strict Fitness, lift or leave. We're talking with Kathy L. Big Strict from Experience Realty Partners, 314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD. Also talking with Steve Strict of New American Funding, powered by Score Mortgage. You guys also clearly have New Age Health Wellness, which we talk about, newagehealthwellness.com. Yeah. Is there anything from any of the businesses this week that's something that just jumped out that you're like, oh my gosh, we can't wait. We got to talk about that when it comes to our cancel this segment this week? Or was it kind of just more of a plateau week in regards to things because of so much that's happened in the industries?
Well, it just depends on if you believe the headlines. I have all kinds of organizations that email me stuff. And one says existing home sales dropped the largest drop in month over month, and however how long, 4% down in October. But in reality, usually they do drop in October. Like in St. Louis, I don't know about nationwide, but in St. Louis, October is typically into September. October is typically one of our slowest periods. But then another article comes in and says that there's existing inventory in November. They feel like it's maybe moving towards a little more normal market, but not a panic market for a seller. But that's week by week and day by day. I think the rates have just made everything a wild card. So as soon as, I think you're going to talk about maybe they dropped a little bit recently.
Yeah, I'll chat you in a minute.
So, when rates come down a little bit, then all of those headlines will go out the door and be like, home sales are hot again. So it's day by day. we're still seeing people buy houses, and even around the holidays. So here's a misnomer. A lot of people think don't put your house on the market during the holidays. Not necessarily true. Are there less people shopping during the holidays? Sometimes, yes, especially depending on if there's weather. So like St. Louis, we always gauge it on, are we expecting a snowstorm? We're going to be under 2 feet of snow, then we'll probably put it off. But typically there's less competition on the market in the winter too. So that balances out the less buyers, less competition. And then people generally buying in this fourth quarter are buying because they need to most of the time. So it's a job transfer, a divorce, a death, something like that. So they tend to, are really serious. If they're out looking at houses, they're usually not tire kicking. And we usually December, December is usually one of our better, like our second best quarter. This year, it's definitely taken an impact.
Yeah.
What about market opens right now? The market openings throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. Are we over 600 still?
No. We're in the 5s.
Okay.
Which is, compared to the pace we were at before, isn't super surprising based on the time of the year.
Talking with Kathy L. Big Strict of Experience Realty Partners, and of course,
Tracy.
Yeah. And what?
I said Tracy went in yesterday and got her blood done. We were chatting.
I did see that on the chat line.
Speaking of that, and if Tracy wanted to share what the experience was on our chat line, that would be great, and we could do that. What we're talking about is with New Age, for people who know what they do or don't know. Obviously, you guys can talk about the clinic, or the proper way to explain what you guys have going on there. And
do you want to hit rates first?
We can go into New Age, or you can talk about rates. It's up to you.
Let them hit rates real quick while we're on the topic.
I agree. Hit those rates.
Let's hit the rates. Let's
rates.
Smash that like button. Smash those rates down.
That's right.
So rates have taken a little bit of a dip, but they went back up, and then they took a dip. I think that they're going to keep dipping. It's the rhetoric of the Fed. What do they say they're going to do? They're going to pause. It's a good sign. Jobs numbers came out. That was a good sign for rates. But what I want to tell the consumers, what I want to tell the public is that rates are going to go down. Okay. They're not going to go up. So if you are in the market, if you're thinking about getting in the market, we've been saying this, now is the time to start thinking about putting your home on the market. There are buyers that are out there 100%. In fact, yesterday I was slammed all day long. There's a lot of opportunity out there. The other thing is that, if you're buying a house right now, if you're saying, well, I'm going to wait for rates to come down. We've said this, but I'm going to say it again for those people that weren't on the show, is that if you buy into a 7.5% or 7% rate right now, that's okay, because you're going to be able to carry it for a little while, if you can carry it, and then refinance later when rates drop. But if you wait until rates drop, when everybody else is going to come off the fence, out of the weeds, and they're going to start driving competition to these homes, it's going to start driving the price up. Mm-hmm. So would you rather pay the difference of a 6 to 7% rate for the next 6 to 12 months, or would you rather pay an extra $50,000 or $100,000 for the home? It's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, it sure sounds.
Yeah.
And you can do things like a buy down too.
You can do buy downs.
You need to keep your payment down.
Yeah, what's happening in this market is a lot of opportunity. I'm speaking with one of the largest home builders right now to become one of their preferred lenders, because we have some things that they need for their consumers. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this before.
Is that a home builder in the St. Louis metropolitan area internationally?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And here's always a little market indicator too. The funds are starting to move back in. So
hedge funds
are starting to move back in the area.
Let's get to it before they do.
Yeah. Folks. So we're starting to see them think, okay, so rates are starting to balance out a little bit. We've got some inventory. We've heard of some pre-foreclosure, opportunities that are coming down the line that some agents are picking up. So there will be some inventory, but there's going to be competition with the hedge funds again, because they're moving back in.
How are you finding out that the hedge funds are moving back in? How does something like that happen?
Because they contact us to represent them. Yeah. So we know that there's movement out there. And I have some agent friends that specialize with hedge funds across the country too. So I've been talking with them, and they're picking back up too.
And they're picking back up because they see the rates dropping, or they get ideas that's going to happen.
Well, or the idea that's going to happen, and who controls it. maybe they know something that we don't, right?
Of course they do.
So they're going to get in now, and then what they're going to do is they're going to manipulate the rates, and then they're going to be buying everything again.
Yep. Well, there's a question on the chat line that if someone is elderly, are they still as apt to get a loan as, say, someone who's 40?
So there's no age discrimination. I want to make that clear. There's no discrimination whatsoever. It's more about qualifying with your income and your liabilities. Mm-hmm. So if you have Social Security income, if you don't have a lot of expenses, if you have any other type of income, we use that to qualify against the liabilities that are reporting on your credit report. And then anything else, such as child support, alimony, things of that nature. But elderly can definitely qualify. We've actually done some things where it's asset depletion, to where they didn't have any income, but they had maybe a 401k put away. Mm-hmm. And we can use that with a calculation to determine this is what it's going to be per month, determined on the age that you are. So yeah, we've got things for elderly people or older people.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me there wasn't another lawsuit filed this week against realtors.
Did I talk about the one in Texas? I think we talked about the one in Texas last week.
Yeah,
maybe that was the day before. I think it's been quiet since then, knock on wood. So far. Yeah.
It's like, thank God.
There's stirrings that the first lawsuit's supposed to appeal. And then I also did hear yesterday that the judge did approve the settlement for Anywhere and Remax, because that was still up in the air. They had settled right before this court case went to trial, but the judge still had to approve and ratify it. So apparently yesterday he did. So that's good for them to be done with that. But other than that, we're still all kinds of waves coming off that still. But I think people are a little bit past the shock and just moving on and take it day by day to see what kind of changes we're going to feel. And a lot of people are, not thinking we're going to feel as big of a change as what we thought, at least for years. We'll
314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD. We say it all the time, and we mean it. You don't want to do this real estate deal by yourself. No. You don't want to think that you know it all. Then you're in more of a deep hole. Countless examples of people thinking they could do it. Give Kathy and her team a call. Ask them for advice. They'll help you. They'll monitor you. Steve there from the mortgage side as well. He's also put his phone number out there, 314-374-0770. When it comes to real estate, give them a call. Just let them know, hey, I listened to you on Cancel This. I'm grateful for the information and the advice. And the thing that separates you guys is you're so damn honest about everything. Mm-hmm. You're not trying to hide anything. And that's what I appreciate learning, and our viewers and our listeners love. And they tell you in the chat line all the time. So out of the respective time too, real quick, last week after you left, we had multiple people, and I told them, watch next Wednesday. And I sent them your numbers, wanting to know about New Age.
Yeah.
Yes.
People, believe it or not, as many times as we've talked about New Age, people are still trying to understand.
Yeah.
Wait a second. They've got this and they've got that. They've got the peptides back. How can this help me? I mean, they were doing this. They're not. Can they make me look like Steve and Kathy? I mean,
I'll send you one of these tank tops. That's all it takes.
Can.
Is that a New Age tank top?
No, this one is not. It's not.
So I'll tell you guys, I've been on the hormone path for probably about 5 years, maybe a little more. Before we opened New Age, I went somewhere else. And it made such a big difference for me that's why we became passionate about it. Steve had always done his own type of, testosterone therapy, replacement therapy, if you want to call it that. And it just really made a difference in how I felt, and that stubborn weight that kept just adding on with women. There's a lot of little hormonal imbalances can throw you way off. So that helped me with keeping weight off, but then it started to kind of creep up again. It was harder to work out. You constantly need to be checking it and changing it, because as you age, things change a little bit. So I did go down the path of the medical weight loss while I was also doing the testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone therapy. That's what I personally do. And I feel great. I sleep great. The progesterone makes me sleep like a baby. It's like a sleeping pill. I love it. It's the best thing I've ever done. The estrogen kind of takes out the symptoms of feeling the hot flashes or menopause and that type of thing when you move into that. And then, of course, the testosterone helped with some weight, fogginess, energy, sex drive, all of that type of thing. So then just to drop those unwanted pounds that still hadn't, dropped, I did. And of course, we own the company, so I want to try everything. I started on the semaglutide path, and I also am trying the tirzepatide, which is the Wegovy version of semaglutide, is the Ozempic type version. So that, with all of the hormones and, just staying active and probably stress of this year, I'm down 20 pounds.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Since
Withering away.
end of February, March. So it didn't drop off just like that for me. It was a slower weight loss, a couple of pounds every couple of months. But I actually am glad that way, because it wasn't like such a shocker to your system. Maybe we talk about Wegovy face or Ozempic face.
Mounjaro.
Yeah, Mounjaro. Is that what it is? Mounjaro. Yeah. So yeah, and then other people have that rapid weight loss on it. So, and then I've talked to people that tried them, like, oh, I tried it for a few months and it didn't work, so I quit. Don't do that, because if I would have done that, I wouldn't have had the results. You've got to stick with it, because you are starting on the medical weight loss. You're starting on the lowest dose, and you've got to do that low dose the whole first month, and then you bump it up and you do another month, and then you bump it up. So it really took me being into it, like that month 4 and 5 is really when it started to speed up just a little bit more. And then if you add a little bit of movement to it, walking, working out, that's going to speed it up that much more too. So yeah, I say, do what you got to do to feel good. And I know a lot of people that are in the health world speak out against the medical weight loss. They think it's cheating, or it's a shortcut, or it's not changing your habits. I have a different opinion on that. I think if you need to,
so do I.
Yeah.
If you need to have something that is a catalyst because you see results, and that's how I am. Like that first month or 2 of working out sucks, because you're killing yourself, you're sore, and you don't see results. So a lot of people quit and give up. Why do you think people join the gym in January and they're done by February or March? Mm-hmm. So to me, when you can have something with the hormone therapy or medical weight loss that gives you faster results in the beginning, it gave me more motivation to keep going. Yeah. And then to add the health and wellness to it, and to add the workouts, and to add the changing in your eating, because you then like what you see and you like the results and you want to do it that much more. So that's my opinion.
Success breeds success. Look at any psychological study. When you start to have success and you're like, oh, and it's the opposite way. If you start to have failure, you're going to be attached to more failure. It just happens, and it's tough to get out of it.
Right. Well, and if you call New Age, there's people there that will answer the phone and talk you through it. I went last week and I hadn't been in a while. And exactly what you're saying, Kathy, is exactly what's happening for me. I started in August, but did not weigh myself on purpose because I didn't want to be stressed out about that. Right. The only thing I changed was the only thing I'm on is semaglutide and the B12. Yep. And I'm an avid walker. I walk. And so I haven't changed anything other than the fact I do eat less, because you're just not hungry. You're just not. At least I'm not on the semaglutide. Mm-hmm. And so in the last 3 months, I've lost 10 pounds and I've changed nothing. Yes. But doing the semaglutide and eating a little less I don't want the things that I wanted before. I don't want to.
That's true.
You're getting more results.
That's true.
Yeah, from your walking.
It chemically changes your desire for certain foods. I'm a sweetaholic, Yeah. And I think Tracy asked about protein. I don't eat enough protein.
No, she doesn't.
You want to know another big confession? You want to know how much water I drink? Probably a week,
a bottle,
maybe 2 bottled waters a week. Like I'm terrible about water intake.
What do you drink?
Coffee in the morning, a soda in the afternoon, and like a half a soda in the afternoon, half a soda maybe
I'm on
in the
all
evening.
The time about it.
And then I drink water to take my medications, and then a little maybe every once in a while I'll be like, man, I'm thirsty. And I will say
we did see 71 patients yesterday. It was
our
biggest meeting ever.
That's awesome.
Wait a minute, 71 throughout all the locations?
71 in one location.
Just at Ladue.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah. And Tracy was one of them yesterday. I don't know where Tracy was.
It was happening yesterday. People getting ready for those. We've got some Black Friday specials, guys. Get online and check those out. Jump on that and take advantage of it.
You can also hit us up if you've got questions. I know our time is limited here. So, feel free to ask questions, and we're more than happy to answer those.
NewAgeHealthWellness.com. That's NEU, NewAgeHealthWellness.com. When Kathy and Steve talk about the website and checking that out, there's so much information, so much good that can be done
in
for you.
EU, guys. In EU age, not new, not the regular way to spell
That's
it.
right.
And there's a reason. We all know that people talk. If something's good, people are going to talk about things in a positive way. If something's going bad, people are going to talk and they're going to stay away from things. We already know that. The 71 patients just at the Ladue location yesterday shows the desire. It shows that things are working.
I love it.
It's very simple.
Stick with it, because it took you a while to get where you're at.
Yeah.
So it's going to take you a while to unwind and us to figure out what the right chemistry is for you. So don't just like, I tried it for 3 or 4 months, whatever it is, and then give it up. Like, keep going. Yeah. It took me almost 2 years of going to the place before we opened ours, of fine tuning my hormones to get me to where I felt the best and was, having some results.
We've got a new year coming. How about a new you?
That perfect. Donna says she's going to be seeing you guys. She's going to be checking it out soon. I'm not sure.
Awesome.
I'm not sure which location as well. And then Glenn wants to know what items are reported in the.
Couldn't tell you, Glenn. There's a whole.
It's a large panel.
Whole panel, and we're not the nurses and the medical experts.
Yeah, like 4 pages.
Panel, way more than what you're going to get at your MD. Different types of panels.
That's important to know that that's not the same, because I didn't know that it's more extensive than what you're going to get at your local MD.
For sure. Yeah. There's times I've been gone to the doctors and I didn't even get near the information I got from New Age, and they take the time to explain it to you. There's 4 pages. They tell you what they suggest it. They don't tell you you have to do it. But if you do follow what they're saying, it definitely works and you feel better. I literally at night couldn't sleep. I don't know. I had insomnia. Since I've been on semaglutide and the B12 shot, I get really tired at the appropriate time at night. So I sleep through the night because my body is working and working and working on the inside, and I sleep like a baby now. I don't know if that's something that happens to everyone, but it sure works for me, especially when the new dose comes up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can feel it. I can definitely feel it. And by nighttime, for about the first 2 days after having it, I am so tired, but it's a good tired. It's like, oh, thank God, I'm going to sleep tonight. It's a beautiful thing.
What a lot of people don't understand is good sleep is so important.
Yes.
It is one of the most important things in your life. And if you're getting bad sleep, no sleep, that's going to throw a lot of other things off.
Okay, real quick, guys. Kevin
asked for the phone number. You want that?
Yes.
314-782-7771. 314-782-7771. Call in. You can also go to NewAgeHealthWellness.com, NEU. You can book an online appointment for a consultation. Do it.
Kevin wants to know when the Big Bend Doherty Ferry office is going to open so he can come and check out and get his blood tested.
We're hoping for March.
Probably March.
Okay, so you got March. And is that the Twin Oaks location?
It's Seven Oaks.
Seven Oaks.
Okay, someone said Twin Oaks. They meant
Oaks. And then Hawks Ridge is Lake St. Louis. That'll be February.
Whoop, whoop. But you can go to a different location. Like,
you can even start at Ladue.
Start at Ladue, and then when we open, move to other locations, because you can take
100%.
home a lot of those injections yourself.
Yes.
And do it yourself, so you don't have to keep driving back in.
And we have a meeting next week to possibly get the process started on a Fenton location.
Oh, we have a lot of South County listeners, so that is great. Great. Love it.
Kathy L. Big Strict, Steve Strict. You've got NewAgeHealthWellness.com, NEU. You've also got their phone number, 314-782-7771. And then, of course, if you need to talk about real estate, which we've already talked about, 314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD, just to get advice. They'll put you in the right situation where you need to be. And, of course, you can also give Steve a call when it comes to the mortgage standpoint, 314-374-0770. I can only imagine that there's going to be a lot of food consumed at the Strix tomorrow.
Yes.
There will be. If you want to stop by in the evening, come on by.
3 turkeys. Actually, I have 3.5 because they have 3 in a breast. 20 pounds of potatoes. There'll be 4.
How many people do you have? How many people do you have?
45 people for Thanksgiving most of the time. And I do the majority of the cooking. I do all the staples.
Oh my gosh. Hey, real quick, do you have a fried turkey, or is that out of the
No, I base mine and do the cheesecloth thing, and it comes out perfect every time, so I mess with perfection.
All right.
There
Maybe
Also, want to tell everybody, anybody that calls New Age today, today is a closed day, so don't get discouraged that no one
Black
answers
Friday
the phone. But go
is the day.
online and set up an appointment or call tomorrow. I mean, Friday.
Yes, and if you're not local, that's okay too. Call
Right.
them and they can do
Yes.
the online and they can send it to you. I highly recommend if you are not in this area, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
guys, we love you. Thanks again. Have an awesome day. Happy
We're
Thanksgiving.
thankful for you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Take
Mwah.
care.
Love
I'm
you.
off to cook.
A blood draw party at the Strix.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
funny.
sure.
All right. Bye, guys. We'll see you
Thanks,
later.
guys.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
again.
They
That's
are the
funny.
sweetest. Our listeners love them. There were several people on the chat line like, please don't ever leave, cancel this. We love all the information that you give and all that. And I love their honesty. Just like when she was saying, I'm guessing that she's the more serious, stoic, and I don't want to say the word stoic because she's anything but that's kind of what she was saying, where he's the one that's the more adventurous, but the combined couple is just magnificent.
No, they're great
They
people.
really are.
Here's the thing. It's not easy to run a business.
Oh, no, it's not.
They've got 3 different businesses
Mhm.
and they're just damn good people.
They really
you get
are.
to know them.
They are.
And that's what, do they service Illinois real estate sales? Yes, they
Yes.
service Troy. 314-276 sold,
Mhm.
314-276 sold. Yes. We tell people all the time, give them a call. There's no complaints. People are like, damn, okay, good. I've got advice. I've got counseling. I know how to handle this. As with anything in life, you have to have a plan.
Yes.
I mean, there's some things where you can kind of float freely, but most things in life you need to have a plan, especially when it comes to money, especially when it comes to your housing. You need to have a plan. There's no better people to plan for you or to help you or at least guide you, counsel you than the team with the most experience. And that's what Kathy's done for so long. So yeah, give them a call, 314-276 sold. They have helped so many people.
Mhm.
They'd give you the shirt off their back.
Mhm.
Steve literally would.
Yeah, literally. Well, it looked like Kathy would have today too.
Hell
Looks
yeah,
like
she
was
would
giving her
have.
shirt off. But there's so many people on our chat.
That's what
saying they're
that,
wanting to call about.
well, that's
New
what
Age.
isn't that what the testosterone? Oh, you're not taking the testosterone.
No, I'm literally just semaglutide.
Steve said that
and B12.
she chases him around the house.
Apparently
with
so.
taking
I
that
don't have those
testosterone.
benefits. Apparently all my hormones were fine. They weren't out of whack. I don't know.
Good. Dave's being chased around the house.
Oh yeah, he'd love that.
Balls. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Forgive me. I should not have said that. Forgive me, God.
Oh,
I'm a bad boy today.
Yeah, but it's Thanksgiving. You can say that. You can say that.
Of course I can. This is cancelthisshow.com. Some better news. For the first time since 1877. Is this a sign of things to come? I know you feel it is, Lizzie.
Mm-hmm.
A Republican has won the city mayoralship of Charleston, South Carolina.
That Charleston is so
I know.
great.
And
love
they've
it.
had a liberal Democrat
Yeah.
mayor since 1877. So they had a Tuesday runoff between 2 gentlemen, and the former South Carolina Republican Representative William Cogswell.
Cogswell.
What a perfect name for Charleston.
Yes, William Cogswell.
I mean, that's Southern Comfort-esque. He won Charleston's mayoral seat, and he flipped the office red for the first time since 1877.
I love that.
Is it a sign of things to come?
Yes, and that is such a beautiful
And
town, and you go there, and they've got great spices and Southern charm, and it's no wonder they're going red.
Yeah, well, the Southern charm is a big deal, and I'll tell you why.
Mhm.
There's a lot of money there,
Yes, there is.
and when you start looking at your bank account and you start looking at inflation and you start worrying about things down the line, people will start to vote that way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if it takes the liberals to lose their money to realize, oh, maybe we need a conservative idea or value when it comes to our money and conservative principles when it comes to investing, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to our community being safe, when it comes to illegals being kept out and pushed to other, quote, sanctuary cities, since you said you wanted them, that's what we want in this town. Now, it was nip and tuck. It was tight, vote by vote, but the Republican won, and he won by enough so that they didn't need to have a recount. So the people spoken, they're ready for a new direction. A direction is, he said, Cogswell.
Cogswell. I love
That's
that.
it's the triple S factor:
Yeah.
smart, safe, and sound.
Mhm.
I mean, leading doesn't have to be difficult. leading this country, not just Charleston, smart, safe, and sound.
And I know somebody who's not any of those things.
I loved what he said, too. He's like, we're going to put labels aside so that we can find pragmatic solutions for our problems.
Pragmatic solutions. What a novel.
Now, granted, this is a smaller community, but it does to me as well, Lizzie. It shows me something.
Yeah.
It does. That a city like Charleston would say, okay, we're done with, just because we were liberals in the past, we're going to move into a new direction. And to me, it shows what I always talk about, people being willing to cast and put the pride aside for their money.
Well, and
because this is a money issue.
I do think people are waking up, and I keep saying that the youth are. Here's an example. I was driving into the studio today and flipping through the channels, and we have a very, I would call, woke, like millennial type station, and their morning show was talking about how Joe Biden was dumb. And I thought that, and that he doesn't even know where he's at. And they were completely making fun of him. And I thought, that is a beautiful thing. That is what I would consider a very liberally type station. And they weren't saying that. They were calling him dumb and all kinds of stuff. And the listeners to that show are probably Gen Zs and millennials. So I really do think people are calling out Joe Biden, how dumb he is. And so they might vote for another Democrat, but if he's the one running, and I still hope he's the one that runs, I know you don't think he's going to, but I think the possibility is very high he's going to. He is going to leave kicking and screaming because he can protect his son and protect the Epstein list and all that if he's still in there. So I think he's going to leave kicking and screaming. Well, Jill, his wife, is going to leave kicking and screaming.
I also saw another political thing since we were talking about that. Congratulations to the mayor Cogswell for winning. But also, did you see that the other night, DeSantis challenged Trump to a debate?
Yes. I would love to see that. I think it would be great. I don't think it's going to happen because DeSantis has kind of popped into third, and I don't see the point.
Or going that direction.
I think I have a preview of what's going to happen.
You do? Can we see it? That would be fun. I would love to see that.
Smile normally is now kind of
Listen to this. Here we are making fun of Ron DeSantis and with this crooked smile. Happy Thanksgiving.
It's believed to occur when a patient's presidential neural pathways are somehow rerouted through their asshole. You can now nearly pull off a regular human smile.
That is
that. He almost looks happy and not like a baboon passing a kidney stone.
Not like a baboon passing a kidney stone. Oh my gosh, that's pretty funny.
And his medical team believes that by the year 2028, he could achieve full upper teeth exposure.
Glenn is saying Trump would thump DeSantis.
Hard at work on a drug that might help him stand normally and not like a recalled Ken doll.
Oh my gosh, whoever that was, that was pretty funny. That is pretty funny. And, and I know that we dog him a lot, and it's funny to dog him. And I think what he did in Florida was wonderful and was great and all of that. I just wish he had waited. I think he hurt maybe his presidential chance even in the future, because I would have loved to have had him after Trump.
I love what Robert said. Was this debate already on The Simpsons?
Yeah, probably.
By the way, that video was sent to us by Derek.
Okay, we appreciate that,
of
Derek.
course, Derek. Yes,
hey, by the way, Joe, what I was telling you, because I know you got a lot of things going on. Before we bring Ham and Karan, could we do the lights over here? Because we don't need them over there. I forgot about that.
Okay, yeah.
I would love that. I appreciate that so much. The Simpsons. And by the way, who said Thurston Cogswell?
I love that.
Thurston Cogswell will push that through. This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks here. It is our Thanksgiving show. We're off tomorrow. We'll be back Friday, 30-minute show on Friday. Black Friday show, so to speak, to keep things rocking and rolling as we've got things going all over the place. We've also got, this is another interesting story before we get in to do our Weed Wednesday segment with Route 66. But I guess this is no surprise to people, but gun ownership right now is at an all-time record high.
Yes.
Once again, gun ownership at an all-time record high. People want to feel safe. Clearly.
We need to.
And I know it didn't just all of a sudden happen. It's been a slow trend upwards. When we talk with Steve King from Metro Shooting Supply, that people are continuing to buy, and their biggest target audience was females. Females were the biggest group that were purchasing guns now.
I believe that.
Kelly Mano, who comes in every other Friday, showed us video last week of her taking her daughter to the gun range to teach her how to shoot. And by golly, they both are
I love it.
Are good shots. They understand the safety from that standpoint. So more than half of the voters in the United States, 52%, say that they or someone living in their home owns a gun.
Mm-hmm.
That's the highest number ever recorded. And this is according to NBC News national poll since the survey was first presented. And that was the question in 1999. So it's gone up. So in the last 10 years, that's grown 10 points. 42% ownership of Americans to 52%. That's a stunning number, according to Micah Roberts of the Public Opinion Strategies, a Republican polling firm that conducted the poll for NBC News and the Wall Street Journal. He also went on to say, by and large, things don't change that dramatically, that quickly, when it comes to something as fundamental as whether you own a gun. So this polling is phenomenal. Of course, the gun debate goes on. Donna says, no guns here in my house. My 14-year-old has shot a machine gun.
Yes,
okay.
that's I'm sure that's she shot a machine gun starting at age 12.
Yeah, I shot a machine gun as well.
Yeah.
Abe says Maryland licensing law was just overturned yesterday. Specifically, what were you referring to from that standpoint, Abe? And Renee says, remember, guys, that polling are just those who are admitting it.
Correct.
So the total is going to be even higher than that. I agree.
I agree, because some people don't even admit that they have a gun or that they'll shoot a gun for various reasons, maybe for their own safety, or maybe because a family member is offended by the fact that they have a weapon in their home. But yeah, I'm sure the statistics are real higher by truth.
Chris reminds everybody, and although you still have some states trying to take away our Second Amendment rights, even though we're not getting results as fast as we like, we are fighting and winning in the courts against them, because having a gun is important to a lot of people when it comes to the safety aspect. I mean, we were just told a month ago by the FBI director, Chris Wray, that you need to be vigilant and you need to look out for lone wolf attacks in the United States. Was he saying that just to have a statement? No, I think not. I think he was damn worried. Research, surveillance, talking to possible lone wolves in the United States, all talk about coming after and trying to have an attack. We were told to keep our head on a swivel and to try to stop. How are you going to do it? How are you going to stop somebody?
Yeah.
Why do you think the shootings that occur happen at places where people don't have guns?
Correct.
Because the person who goes in and does the attack knows that they're not going to be shot back.
Exactly.
This is why. Jay says, but we've also reminded everybody, if you do have a gun, you need to have gun safety. That also comes
yes, got to have gun safety. Yep.
If you're going to have a gun, you have to have gun safety. We say it all the time.
Yes.
Jay says every kid needs gun safety training, even if no firearm in the home.
I agree, because you never know when you'll have to use it. Say your teenager is at a friend's house and some horrible thing happens and you don't have weapons in your own home. You don't have guns in your own home, but you have to save yourself. Your kids still need to know how to use one, especially if the gun is turned on you. You need to understand how to get it. You need to keep yourself safe. You need to understand where to store it. But I think everyone needs to understand that.
Back in 7th grade, they had Missouri Conservation. We had extracurricular activities where we would learn gun safety. So you would think that would be a little more, since it's in our Constitution, the right to bear arms, you would think that it would be more common to have gun safety in schools.
Yes, and when I grew up too, there was gun safety. Heck, we would go to high school and people would have on their pickup trucks rifles in the back, because they would literally go to school. We went out to Francis Howell, that was more rural at the time, and kids would go hunting or go doing something with their dad, and there was never a shooting. Never. And they were openly displayed in the parking lot back then.
Abe checking back in to make sure that I understood exactly what he was referring to. He says the Maryland law required fingerprinting, firearms training, and a 30-day waiting period. The judge found it unconstitutional as it violated Second Amendment rights. Interesting. Had no idea. Jason reminds us of one of the best movies ever made, Wolverines. Just teaching, safe handling, and respect would be huge. Yes, it would, because we all know guns are a serious thing, but we also know that the vast majority, over 95%, 96%, I think it's even higher than that, of gun owners in America do everything legally. They do everything the right way. They are not causing problems.
Mm-hmm.
It's illegal gun owners who have gotten or obtained guns illegally.
Correct.
And not done things well. Gary says, Coach Dunn taught hunting and fishing at Howell High School. Okay, we got that. We appreciate that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Don also says, saw on the news that there will be no celebration here. We are being threatened by those countries. Please be careful, everyone. They said especially public gatherings like parades. The Macy's parade has threats. I'm not sure exactly what you were referring to.
I called it last week.
You called what?
On Thanksgiving, something's going to happen.
I don't think anything. It's too obvious because everybody's been talking about it.
Yeah, well,
hopefully we
if somebody's going to have
if somebody's
going to have an attack, they're not going to tell people that they're going to attack something and then go out there. They want the element of surprise to do as much damage to us as possible.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't that make sense?
Yeah,
Makes
but
sense. However, I feel like something's going to get snuck in there.
And because of how Americans celebrate Thanksgiving too, you're going to hear something. I agree with you, Joe. You're going to hear something. Maybe it's not big. Maybe it's in a movie theater.
I hope
maybe
not.
It's at
I hope I'm just being paranoid.
Well, and like Vic said, if the more people talk about it, the less it'll happen because they know it's coming.
Well, more likely, you would think that it would be more likely that kind of thing would happen. So anyway, it's just a big gun situation that's going on right now. So we try to bring you all of the updates, the things that are happening there. Gun ownership at an all-time high. I like it. I think
I do too. I like it too.
I think we need it. And those kinds of things. Another big story that we're going to be talking about next week too. We just found out that the White House was spying on trillions of Americans' phone records without warrants.
Mm-hmm.
It was a new hemisphere program. It was a covert surveillance initiative based out of the White House. And it enabled law enforcement to access and scrutinize trillions of American phone records without people knowing. So we're going to be dealing with that too. That's another big story that's going to be coming up next week. Of course, we continue to cover everything that's going on. We told you we're off tomorrow. We'll be back on Friday as we move on and do the things that we have coming on. Also, we love it when you like, subscribe, and share the show. You can do that as well. Of course, you can send us stars from that standpoint as well. We appreciate all the sponsors that we have. Obviously, we had show sponsors on earlier today. We talk about, of course, STL, and we've got our groups here, our ownership groups. We've got, let's see, Solar City STL that's coming on. WeQuip, which we have talked about, had the peer-to-peer renting of so many darn good items. I had somebody else ask me yesterday, how do I find them? I said, WeQuip USA.
Mm-hmm.
You can rent all kinds of items from person to person right through their website. So many things that you can do. Also, when it comes to sponsors, when it comes to advertisers, we love our Weed Wednesday segments because we normally talk with Ham and Patrick. Today, Ham's joining us as always. Happy Thanksgiving early, my friend. Happy Thanksgiving. Are you doing our hold? Okay, now we got you. Yes, we got you
now.
Yes, can you hear me now? Ham.
Commercial back then.
Welcome back to Weed Wednesday segment with Route 66 Dispensary and Ostara. How's the week been, buddy?
You
guys rocking and rolling?
We are.
Yeah. Joe. So when you've got normally when you come in, you've got Patrick from Star, but today we have a switch up. We have a surprise and somebody who I know.
First of all, Patrick, he had his hair extra done today, and I was like, I know you're ready, but I was like, we want to kind of talk about Nick and what he does as one of our top managers, district manager, regional. What would be your exact title, Nick?
I'm a general manager.
General manager. I look at him as like way up there, right? He's been with us forever. He's opened up a majority of the stores, but now he's in Des Peres. And so I thought I'd bring a representative actually from a store today and talk a little bit about the customer experience and what we do.
All right. Well, welcome in, Nick. We appreciate you from that standpoint. Can you talk about that customer experience once somebody walks in to one of your stores? I had a chance to meet you when I came out to your brand new store at the Manchester 270 store in Des Peres. And I was blown away by your knowledge, by the budtenders' knowledge, how cool the store is and the products. So if you could just kind of give our viewers and our listeners for the podcast an idea of what they're going to expect.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you come into the store, you're greeted with a smile, nice welcome. We make sure that you're getting exactly what it is that you came into the store for. We'll ask you tons of questions to make sure if you're looking for pain relief, if you're looking just to have a good time, that's what we're there for. We're there to help out and make sure you're getting what it is that you're looking for.
Is there ever a question, Nick, that somebody can't get answered? Because I was throwing question after question after question with you, and you were just like, did it. You're like spitting it out like you're a weed computer icon, which is
weed computer,
which you were. I mean, there wasn't anything that I asked that you didn't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you ever come in and there's something that you ask us that we've not heard before, and we'll get on the computer, we'll do research, we'll do whatever we have to make sure you're getting relief.
Now, we get questions throughout the time, and Donna, first of all, said, welcome to the show. People are excited that it's Weed Wednesday. They forget the days, and it's our Weed Wednesday segment. Donna wants to know right now, and not to take us off the beaten path, but do you guys have buds?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have a huge flower selection right now at the DePere location. Actually, at all 5 locations, we're pretty stacked.
What about
leads into what he brought is our newest flower.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I brought in
talk about it.
an eighth of the purple Oreos from Ostara. We just got in at their stores.
And can you show people the packaging maybe up in front of that camera? Absolutely. That's your cameras. And then when you put it in front of your face, the camera zooms, or no, I mean close to the camera.
Close to the camera. Right.
Yeah. And then in front of your face then it takes the focus right to the Ostara package so people can see, okay, so what exactly is that?
So it's going to be an eighth, 3.5 grams of our Ostara flower, purple Oreos. It's going to be a indica hybrid.
So is that a gummy or
no?
It's gonna be some flower.
Oh, that's your flower.
Yeah,
oh,
this is like this is what Snoop Dogg would want.
Oh, yeah.
Snoop Dogg.
Oh, hey,
that's how I have to talk to Vic. He's like, oh, Snoop.
Now I get it. Yeah, I'm a little slow. Yeah, they said buds are it. Wow, they're loving what you guys have right there. Oh, that's so cool that you can put that right up there. And that, okay, when you say it's Oreo flavored?
It's going to be purple Oreos.
What does that mean?
So Oreos is just a genetics. It's a strain that they cross with the purple as well. So they get purple Oreos.
That makes sense to me because you guys have different kinds of gummies, and that's why I got confused because of all the different flavors. You guys have so many damn products, which is amazing for consumers.
Well, consumers want variety. It's. I mean, I'm a living testament of it. Like I don't go in and just only want that, right? Mm-hmm. We all have our different tolerances, and so it's interesting. This whole world has completely opened up my mind on how many different varieties and different ways of either having a natural high or a balanced high, or like really getting stoned or comfort, or you're hungry. There's just so many different things to it.
So, how popular is that bud when it comes to sales right now? Do most people know that you guys have that product?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everything's available on our website. It's a live menu, so you're able to just go online, see our menu, and be able to shop through there if you'd like.
And how are you guys doing when it comes to keeping flower in right now? Because I know that that's the most popular thing, and it just seems like people like to buy and buy and buy from Route 66 cannabis.
Yeah. So early on, flower was a hot commodity, but right now, like I said, we're fully stocked on flower. We're ready to go.
What are you guys going to be, for example, for openings today or tomorrow or Friday? Are you guys open, and what are the schedules? Do you guys know that by chance?
Yeah, so at our DePere location, we're going to be open from 10 to 4 tomorrow. So we will be open on Thanksgiving. We'll be open till 8 o'clock tonight.
It'll be interesting because we're one of the few dispensaries that are open tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I feel like there's a need for that, especially with the holidays. A lot of not to get off track, but I know a lot of people cannot be with their families more than a couple hours
relatives
without some maybe a balanced gummy, kind of keep them in between.
It helps.
Yeah. Or maybe if you're like me, you experiment on your aunts and uncles. You're like, here, try this, and then next thing you know, they're eating a turkey leg.
Yeah. Love it.
You haven't even started Thanksgiving. You're like, hey man, what are you doing?
Absolutely. Yeah, stop on by before dinner. Take your little cousin's walk.
Hey Joe, you were at Route 66 again this week. What were you getting, or if you didn't mind me getting too much into your personal life, or what are some of your favorite products from Route 66?
My go-to is live resin carts.
Okay. So that's the way to your heart, is a live resin cart.
Oh yeah. With with lemon terpene.
There we go.
Oh, the lemon terpene. How
describing that like it's creme brulee. It's not a dessert at Fleming's.
Right. Well,
I hear you.
It's just as good.
It's just as good.
And because of the cannabis industry being the way that it is when it comes to a Black Friday, you can't really there aren't really quote big sales, right?
No, so we actually have the Green Wednesday deals and Black Friday deals rolling out.
Tell
today.
us all about them.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so
let's talk about some of those deals.
Yeah, absolutely. We have deals starting, all the way from 20 all the way up to 50%. We have buy one get one for a penny as well. I know if you buy any 2 Ostara products, you're going to leave with a Ostara live resin gummy for a penny. So we have a huge list of deals starting today all the way until next Monday.
And once again, this is Route 66 Cannabis. The brand new store is in De Pere. It's at Manchester and 270. But but you guys have 4 other stores as well, all throughout the area. Can you remind everybody, excuse me, where your stores are?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have the De Pere location off Manchester. We're gonna have one in Wentzville, right on the Parkway. Then we also have one in St. Peter's off St. Peter's Parkway. We're gonna have one off Manchester in the Dogtown location, and then one in South Grand off South Grand and Chippewa.
And once again, we remind everybody they can go to our website, cancelthisshow.com. You can go to our partners page, cancelthisshow.com. You can click right on 2 links that we have underneath the Route 66 label. We're showing it to you right now. You've got locations there, De Pere, Dogtown, South Grand, St. Peter's, Wentzville. It gives you an idea of everything that they have on their website as well. The rewards program, Cannabis 101, just what Ham and Patrick and Ham and Nick do here on Wednesdays. Jobs, are you guys still looking to hire at your locations, or are you guys pretty much packed up right now?
We're always looking to add.
Always accepting
applications. Also, a good way to follow us is on Route 66 Can on Instagram. That's a great way to kind of see what our deals look like, or if there's job postings. So for some people, it's not always, the website is not the most convenient way, especially if they're on an app.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're on Instagram, which I feel like a lot of people are these days, that's also another great way to find some of the information about us.
And once again, people who go and get their cannabis obviously know what the experience is like. But for people who may not know, so they walk into your store, they're going to have to show their license right out of the gate, right?
Yeah, so you will have to provide a photo government issued ID. After you provide that to us, we create a profile for you and just send you on in. And that's when you're greeted on the sales floor by a bud tender. They'll work with you, kind of curate a cart for you. And as soon as we do that, send you to the fulfillment window and check you out and get you on your way.
Nick, tell them what the max limit is per day.
So we're going to have recreational customers are going to be looking at 85 grams per day, whereas, your medical customer, they could have anywhere from 3 ounces and up, depending on the doctor's recommendation.
And you have to have a doctor's note to get more than that, because that sounds like a lot of grams per day that you could still use, depending upon, I guess, some, like I look at that and I'm like, okay. And I know, but we learned from you and Patrick too, that people's tolerance can be built up and change. I mean, Joe told us that his tolerance can be larger, right? Just because you've used it for a variety of issues.
Well, yeah, you get to a certain point, you find your dose. Like everybody has their tolerance level, and you can smoke as much as you want, and your tolerance level will go up, but then it will level off.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have people that 5 milligrams will be perfect for them, 10 milligrams will be perfect for them. Then you have somebody else that looking for 20 to 50 milligrams.
I'm writing all the information out again. So your daily dosage again for individuals is what?
So everybody's going to be a little bit different. We recommend starting at 5 milligrams per person or per dose if you're not used to the edibles, and then kind of going up from there. So,
and the most that you can get as an individual per day again?
85 milligrams a day.
Oh, it's 85.
85 grams.
Grams.
Yes, which 100 milligrams would break down to 3.5 grams of flour.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Easy enough from that standpoint.
Yeah.
When somebody comes into the store too, if they're when they're coming in to purchase, it seems like you guys have massive amounts of people that are working all the time. So people aren't having to stand around in long lines either, are they?
The way the stores are designed, for you walk in, you're greeted by a bud tender. They kind of go through the menu. Most people already know what they want. Mm-hmm. And if they ask a question like, it's really more for appetite, you give them a few options. It's a much easier process than like buying a car, right? Or anything else that you're shopping for. And believe it or not, for a lot of people, they just want to be in and out, right? Mm-hmm. There's still a stigma. I hope no one sees me in here. Like I could sense that. I mean, I don't know, Nick, if you sense that sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then the second time they feel more comfortable. Like the first time, if you're a first time customer in a dispensary, it doesn't matter if you're at Route 66 or anywhere else. People just get nervous at first. They're like, ooh, what's going on in here? And then, I've seen them like the hat, the glasses, and they're walking out. And I'm like, commit a crime. Like, I mean, I hear you, but it's that same look as if you're like working out and your trainer says don't eat bad food and you walk into like Chick-fil-A and you don't want anyone to see you.
Got your head down and a wig on and a hat.
Until someone says, "Man, you smell like Chick-fil-A." But like, no.
Hey, Jeannie wanted to add something too, just to remind people that if you were reaching, and Joe, I'd be curious to get your idea on this. If you were reaching a limit, or if you were feeling like you were starting to get to that point because you became so tolerant of certain things, switching strains can change that. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yes. Switching strains and changing the terpenes can definitely help you. Some folks take tolerance breaks. They go a day or a week and then they kind of just jump back into it. That seems to reset it.
All right.
Well, that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense from that standpoint. Guys,
should have a whole day where we experiment just with you guys.
Well, we are going to do that. I promised you with that.
Like hours.
But my experience, my experience with gummies, because when I had my first gummies, I used to despise the New England Patriots. I hated them with a passion because they beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. Well, a few years back, I don't know, it's been like 5 years, I guess 4 or 5 years. Anyway, the Patriots are playing in the playoffs. They beat the Chiefs, and I was rooting so against them. And I had a half a gummy that day. It was the first, and I did it because I was doing a story for the news on marijuana. And this is always about 5-6 years ago, because that's when you started investing and seeing what was going to happen in Missouri, giving you all the credit in the world because of your brain, seeing what was going to happen. And
I just got lucky.
So, well, I was around somebody else who invested at that point in time too. And so I tried my first gummy because I was doing a story. I could care less who won that football game that day. I was like, I don't care anymore. I was like,
and for you, that would be huge.
Oh my God. Yes. Huge. I was like, and I told you, when football season comes around next year, I think I'll be doing gummies again with my son's
what I'm
football
hearing
season.
For sure.
We target this towards like the Cleveland Browns, the Raiders,
like
all the bad football teams, right?
Yeah.
For their fans. Be like, hey, I know you've had a rough season. Take this gummy. It feels like you've won.
It sounds like Vic's turning into a hippie.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, Vic the hippie.
Just give peace a chance.
Chill Vic. Yeah. Absolutely.
Who cares about delay a game?
Hey, you know what was funny though too that came up this week, and I almost texted you about this, Ham, because I was like, is this real or is this just some marketing ploy that's going on? But did you see Snoop Dogg this last week? Snoop Dogg came out and said, I just want to let everybody know I need my privacy right now. I'm stepping away from smoking after talking with my family and my doctors. Did you see this,
I did
Nick?
see that, yeah.
And I went, oh shit. I was like, is this like messing him up like really bad or something? Is he going to die? And then sure enough, a few days later, it was a joke.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. I was like,
obviously, but at the end of the day, Snoop has smoked enough for the entire country.
Right.
He's letting everybody get their fair share.
Anyone follow Snoop?
You know what? I know.
Does
he have his own brand?
He does have a brand.
I figured he did, because
I want to know if he's been sober off of and I use sober lightly, like if he's not been high since he's been using cannabis, like has he ever stopped? Like I feel like he's just high all day long, every day.
That's Joe. That's Joe.
He has a professional blunt roller.
Yeah. And you operate. Yeah. It's your way of operating and dealing with certain things in life, whether from pain standpoint or
it's
anxiety.
It really is. I mean, for me, that's originally got my medical card because, for like anxiety and different things. And it's definitely helped. And it's just become a part of my daily thing.
And
it's not like I come to work high or anything.
No, I mean, that's, you're running a big operation.
Yeah. I've noticed all the pizzas here every time I come around. Why do these guys have so many large pizzas? There's only 3 people here.
Yeah, Jeannie says Snoop smokes that shit like cigarettes. He's just pop it in, pop it out.
I think it's like a chain blunt smoker.
Oh yeah.
What about when you do the smoke that he does and your marketing, if there was ever a way to get a guy like Snoop, I know you'd have it with your marketing mind. So I know you're probably going to bring somebody to the table.
I am working.
I already knew it, man. I know your brain.
I am working on a very recognizable celebrity who also loves cannabis. It's just way too early in the game to get too far into the weeds of it, right?
I love it.
But if we could pull it off, it would be iconic for Route 66 and the industry. So,
how long have your stores been open now?
What are we going on?
Just about 3 years in March. Yeah. South Grand location.
Yeah. South Grand was our first one.
And that was 3 years ago. And
yeah,
then of course
it was like 7 weeks.
And how are the sales going when it comes to the amount of people, the foot traffic that's coming into that store? Because it's in such a populated area. I thought it was an amazing area to have a store, and how you were able to get that location at literally 270 in Manchester and De Pere.
Yeah, you can't beat it because you're like right there from Edward Jones. So I mean, I know financial advisors could use a smoke once in a while. You got the mall, but it's doing well.
It's picking up. Yeah, we still get folks coming in every day. It seems that we're getting at least 3 to 5 people that just didn't realize that we're open. You know, it's been a struggle. It's been 18 months open in that location. So people are used to driving by and it being closed. They're not used to driving by and it being open. So,
well, you can check it out, route66cannabis.com. Once again, route66cannabis.com. And go ahead and follow them on Instagram.
Yeah.
Route66can. That's Route66C Cannabis.
No, it's Route66 Canna.
Oh, Canna. Canna.
Canna.
Okay, Canna. Follow them on Instagram, Route 66 Canna, Route 66 Canna. And of course, on the website, you can go to the website, route66cannabis.com. And of course, Ham is taking care of people who are going in, buying products for the first time as well. They're getting a discount there as well. If they say that they heard you guys on Cancel This, is that correct?
That's correct.
Absolutely.
Okay, because Joe used that as well. Joe heard that and he raced to Route 66.
Like he didn't even finish the show that day. He just ran right out.
The chair was still spinning around.
Yeah,
I actually saw the camera footage. It was like he had a campsite set up, like we're like selling tickets to like Drake or something.
And once again, support
like we're open. You don't have to camp out.
And support Route 66. They've partnered with us right now. Love what they're doing. Love what Ham's doing. Love what Nick provides as a general manager. And of course, when we have Patrick coming in talking the Ostara line, I was asked, and maybe it's another location. There's a bunch of college kids that love the Cubanas that I gave them at Maryville University. And I don't know, you got to let me know. I'm telling you, there's a partnership there, Ham.
There is.
Where I've got to get you hooked up with
funny. So Nick was telling me how last night we had our best night, which is really odd on a Tuesday, but we'll take it in De Pere, right? And then he's like, the college kids are back. And I was like, oh, that's right. Because we're just 3 doors down from the village.
Yep.
And I'm like, I forgot. Like, this is a time of the year. Everyone comes home.
And you're close to Circle 7 as well.
Correct. So we'll give a shout out to everyone out in that general area. But it's funny because I bet these college kids are coming back, seniors or juniors are like, there's a dispensary in De Pere now? Like, what's going on?
Uh-huh.
So
Jeannie says, wait till tonight.
Oh, yeah.
We're extra staff. Nick is the master of staffing. He was like telling me how much staff we have today. And I was like, really? He's like, just you'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be worth it.
Well, hey, we love our Weed Wednesday segments with you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. I know people know you as a business guy, and I've told you that people love hearing you tell your story, your personal story, your business story. And I now have had 2 people that own businesses that love to hear you talk here.
Oh.
And there's no reason for me to kiss your ass or blow sunshine if it's not real.
Not on this show.
But you're also...
I know this show keeps it real. No ass kissing here.
No ass kissing here.
No.
But I know that you're a family guy and how important your daughters are to you. So happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And you do a lot for a lot of people in the area. Nick, great to have you in the studio today.
Thanks for having me.
You want to come back?
Yeah, absolutely.
You weren't
You did
nervous
a
to come
great
in,
job.
I wasn't nervous to come in. Maybe when I first got behind the camera, a little jitters.
Yeah, but you didn't. But you didn't do any
good.
cannabis before you got on air today.
No, not today.
I can tell.
Absolutely.
Patrick is just staring him down today. Yeah, I'm going back next week.
So there's going to be a brawl when you get back with you
No.
and Patrick?
Oh, no.
We all get along so well.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Love you guys, Route 66. Thank you, Ham. Thank you, Nick.
Thanks,
We'll talk to you guys later. We'll
Thank
see you next week. Once again, Route 66 Cannabis. Check them out. You hear them every Wednesday here on cancelthisshow.com. All the products that you can use. We have fun, but it's also a serious matter too, because when we get into those things, obviously we have told and continue to tell everything that we can about the dangers of pharma, the drugs that you have been told to use in life, causing so many damages, so many illnesses, so many problems for people. Try it out. Try out the cannabis, see if it works out. We have so many success stories of things that are working out right now. So when are we gonna load you up with gummies, Lizzie?
You want to do it when I have an Uber or my husband's off, or you take me
Actually,
home,
what
or
I think
something.
what I think would be better. What I think would be funny is have one of your kids be here to pick you up.
Oh yeah, one of my kids. You know what? That would happen. My oldest daughter, she's my second oldest, but the day of her 16th birthday, we were at a wedding, and she had never driven by herself, and she had to take her drunk parents home. So, I mean, that would be something that she would
You
do.
need to have your granddaughter with you too. That'd be kind of fun.
Have Liberty with
I love it when Route 66 comes.
Yeah, they always give you a present.
They gave me the buds that he brought.
Oh, that's awesome. Cake.
Yeah.
What's it? It's the least. It's the least, man, for you, Joe.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be a good Thanksgiving.
It is.
Are you
I'm going to eat extra this time.
You are going to eat extra because you got the goods.
No, you have to be careful, though, because you dropped 180 pounds.
Oh,
man.
well, you know.
Yeah, but it's like Thanksgiving,
It's
is the only day that you should not worry about your diet. You should not worry about exercise. Just eat. There's always Black Friday. Then go walk.
The only thing that's total bullshit, Joe, is you still refuse to put yourself on camera. And I have asked.
That is bullshit.
I have asked like 100 times.
I got to find a quick way to set it up. When I get here, or maybe I just need to get here early. I mean, maybe that's.
He wants to see your happy shining.
And Robert, and we're kind of just free flowing here. We got, a few minutes left in the show. Robert says he wants to see your son-in-law, the lawmaker, drive you home.
Yeah, that would be really something. He'd be like, he doesn't even speed. It's so funny because my son-in-law, the lawmaker, is actually truly law-abiding. When he met our family and we all speed and we're all a little bit crazy, he likes us anyway, but he kind of drives like a grandma because he drives the speed limit. He doesn't even break the law. But it would be kind of funny. Me and Justin are pretty tight. He probably would be the one. If I called him, he'd pick me up.
Lizzie promoted it. They've got the Wenty's Thanksgiving party tonight. I think they start at 7:00 all night there. All the food that we always talk about, live entertainment, the big patio. That's for rent as well. They rent that out. We're having our holiday party, 1-year anniversary party already on December 7th at Wenty's at 7 p.m. So we wanted to make sure everybody knew about that. If you can come see us, great. Take some pictures, great. Have some fun, great. Maybe some Route 66 will be there. I'll talk to Ham about that as well to see what's going on. I know that would bring Joe there for sure if he wasn't going to be able to make it.
Yeah, Joe wasn't going to go. And we're like, oh, Route 66 there. He's like, whoop. And then his car just turns around and flies over to Wenty's.
And once again, we won't be here tomorrow, but we will do a quick show on Friday, about a 30-minute show. Hope everybody enjoys that. We'll jump in. Also, Jeannie says she loves the background, Joe. We wanted to make sure that you knew that as well. And just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Enjoy time if you're with family. If you're alone, try to find people as well at the same point in time. Reach out. There's always somebody that's willing to talk, somebody that's willing to hang out as well, and try to enjoy the time in the midst of all the crazy that's going on in our world right now. And of course, we appreciate you supporting canceltheshow.com. Please support our partners if you can. And if you're in a position where you can donate to the show, we appreciate it. You can go to canceltheshow.com. We have a donate page, whether it's from your phone or the laptop. We are grateful when you guys can do that and can help. And we appreciate people who have donated it in the past as well. It helps us continue to do what we do here in this beautiful studio. It's not cheap. And we don't get to do it for free. That's for sure. So you can also send us stars on Facebook. That helps out as well. And just continue to tell companies and possible advertisers or sponsors about what we do. And we are grateful for any support that you can send our way.
Well, here's what I'm going to say.
And that's Lizzie at canceltheshow.com, Vic at canceltheshow.com, or Crystal with a K at canceltheshow.com.
And Vic doesn't even know I'm going to say this. So if any of you listeners know of any business that would like to advertise and they actually really advertise on our show, then Vic will show up at that business in his Speedo on his tractor.
I don't have a tractor.
It's going to happen.
And I don't have a Speedo.
Okay, well, I will buy the Speedo. We'll come.
We could rent the tractor from WeQuip.
That's right.
Oh my God.
We're going with WeQuip. Okay, so we're going to pimp him out on WeQuip. So anybody, for the first person that finds an advertiser, Vic will show up and do the show in a Speedo.
Is that what? But would they want that?
Well, if they don't, then they don't get it. Then you get off the hook. But you'll have to do something.
I told you it's.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then maybe you can just
this ain't the college football body anymore.
Well, then you can just come up and act like Newsy Newsboy. You can either have Newsy Newsboy Vic, or you can have Vic in a Speedo.
Okay, yeah. Okay? Have we chased everybody away now?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. But
Where's
that's going to happen.
I need some buds now.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the buds?
They just see we were going to have a show tomorrow, but they're like they needed a Lizzie break, so they're like for the love.
Lizzie,
of God.
thank you. That's our next show. Pimp Vic out.
Yep. Absolutely.
Lizzie's hosting Pimp Vic out.
Yep.
You need to have a whole podcast on that.
Oh my God.
We just need to have a new podcast called that.
Well, maybe we're onto something. I don't know.
Yeah, Lizzie pimps Vic out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. Time to get my hat, put her on back, and let's go. Okay.
There you go.
Guys, have a great day. Thanks for listening to this podcast. That does it for this Wednesday, November 22nd podcast. We will see you on Friday for just a short amount of time for the November 24th podcast. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great day. And as I like to say, go Lions tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
Go turkey. Eat your turkey.
For Pro Joe and Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. We'll see you next time.